Are Congress leaders making a big mistake when they attack the likes of the Karnataka heavyweight leader DK Shivakumar or the Trinavantapuram superstar MP Dr. Shashi Tharoor? Because these are amongst the brightest stars of the Congress party. Now, DK Shivakumar stands accused of sharing a stage or being on the same platform as Sadhguru, who's been an opponent of the Congress and its ways and seems to be a supporter of the RSS and its ways. And DK Shivakumar being next to him has really got a lot of leaders riled up. And you've got Shashi Tharoor also facing fire from within. Is the party becoming increasingly intolerant? Is this even okay? Shouldn't leaders have more breathing room to be able to voice their opinions and tread a different path if they so desire? What's really going on here? To talk about this, I'm joined on this broadcast. I want to welcome first Sanjay Jha. We have Rajat Sethi joining us. We have Anand Ranganathan and Swati Chaturvedi. I want to go across first to Swati to try and understand what's at play. Because at one level, Sadhguru's views on the RSS, the BJP, the Congress are known from earlier. It's not as if he said what he did just on the occasion of Mahashivratri. He's been indicating things in the same direction for a while. Do you think it is wrong for DK Shivakumar to share the stage with him, or are Congress leaders like PV Mohan completely out of line when they attack one of the most valuable stars the Congress has at the moment?
Rahul, I think it's completely ridiculous for any political leader not to feel that he's untouchable, that he cannot go and see somebody who's got a huge following. I mean, the whole point of politics and popular politics and mass leadership and being in electoral politics is to attract supporters, is to attract voters, is to attract friends and influencers. Here, what do you have? You're a party which claims fighting against fascism, is fighting against authoritarianism, and it is laying down the line that Shashi Tharoor cannot praise somebody. Now here we have a man who's a UN expert, he's an expert diplomat. If he takes a national line, why should it bother the Congress party? It's extremely juvenile. As far as DKS is concerned, Sadhguru has a huge following in Karnataka. He's a popular leader. Why shouldn't he be taking advantage of a public, of a public stage? It's like coming on mass media. Why not? Which politician should not or boycott any forum available to just punt for popularity? We're a democracy, for God's sake. How else do you appeal to voters?
Professor Anand Ranganathan, what do you think is at play? I mean, all kinds of theories now doing the rounds. DK Shivakumar went there to meet with Amit Shah. Neither of them have confirmed this, or that he's becoming the Hindutva face of the Congress. He's facing fire from within only because he went to a platform which was hosted by Sadhguru.
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I think Mr. DK Shivakumar should have at least waited for an ED raid before he joined the BJP. But, he's chosen this route to do it, to praise Hinduism. But look, forget praising Hinduism. You cannot be in the Congress if you do not consciously or subconsciously undermine Hinduism. We need to go to the psyche beyond this layer, Rahul, because Congress has always employed a two-pronged strategy to undermine Hinduism. Let me give you a couple of examples. Number one, self-loathing. This involves forgetting crimes and atrocities committed against Hindus, both contemporary as well as historical. So everything from the Kashmiri Hindu genocide to the Mughal genocides to what the Moplas or the Razakars did becomes suddenly mythical and fake. Congress has poisoned the Hindus' mind with self-loathing, hatred for his own religion, way of life, drilling apathy towards the slow destruction of Hinduism, consciously and subconsciously. And if you don't through the line, you're gone through speeches, broadcasts, policies, arts, culture, cinema. So you celebrate Mahatma Gandhi saying, quote, even if Muslims want to kill all Hindus, we should face death bravely. If they establish their rule after killing Hindus, we would be ushering in a new world, unquote. So you celebrate Nehru saying, quote, the responsibility for communal peace rests on the majority community, that is the Hindus. If there is a breach of this peace, I would start with the presumption that it has been caused by the Hindu communal ailments, unquote. So you have Babur's tomb visited by Nehru 1959, Indira 1968, Rajiv 1976, Rahul 2005. But none of them ever visited Ram Janmasthan. So you have Nehru trying to stop the president from attending the consecration of Somnath, saying he feared Hindu revivalism. You have our roads, institutions, our cities named after the barbarians who destroyed our roads, our institutions and our cities. You have from Somnath to Kashi Vishwanath, Babarpur to Bakhtiarpur, Allahabad to Aurangabad, from Martan to Mathura, the injustices towards Hindus and their culture deliberately being made visible, as though to lionize the debasement, celebrate the humiliation. So you have our children being taught to hate those they should love and love those they should hate. Second, and this is important, Rahul, give me a minute, Hindu phobia. Two of the most anti-Hindu acts, Waqf Act and Places of Worship Act, were promulgated by the Congress. Please don't forget that. And by the way, who did Rahul Gandhi meet recently? Yes, the virulently anti-Hindu pastor George Punnaya, who told him, quote, Jesus is the real God, not Shakti. And did Rahul Gandhi ever condemn Stalin's statement of wanting to eradicate Sanatan Dharma? No. Many of its leaders deliberately call Yogi Ajay Bisht. The other point is, remember the statement by Congress leader Jarkholi that Hindu has a dirty meaning and Indians would be ashamed of it? There is Shivraj Patil, who claimed Lord Krishna taught jihad to Arjuna. An alleged post by a Congress youth wing leader Shaukat Ali called Hinduism a terrorist religion. Recently, a Goa Congress leader Jalmi termed Hindu god Parashuram a terrorist and a rapist. Who can forget the phrase saffron terror was coined by the Congress that it wanted to pass the communal violence bill, where only the majority, i.e. Hindus, would be held guilty in a communal riot. Remember how the Congress blamed the Hindu RSS 2611 attack for it? Had Kasab not been caught alive, Congress would have fortified this theory. Just 10 seconds. Please remember how Congress leaders publicly butchered a calf just to mock Hindu sensibilities in Kerala. Recall how time and again the Congress insults and denigrates Hindutva, despite Supreme Court asserting that, quote, Hindutva means Indian culture, not merely Hindu religion. Just 10 seconds. So there we have it, Rahul. Congress ke do anmol ratan, self-loathing and Hindu phobia. And if you don't toe this line, you are K.
Sanjay Jha, Professor Anand Ranganathan taking this to an extreme, saying that this reflects the problem with the Congress, where they're constantly attacking all Hindu beliefs. I mean, DK Shivkumar went to the Kumbh, he goes and attends this grand Mahashivratri function being organized by Sadhguru. Swati has an important point. He has a catchment, he has a certain traction, a certain purchase in a certain community. To go out, be amongst his supporters, you're trying to woo them to your side, which is what good politicians should do. Why should Congress leaders have such a problem with DK Shivkumar if he does this?
Rahul, I'll take only 30 seconds, I promise you that. The core fundamental issue is what Swati mentioned. The Congress party's leadership cannot be thin-skinned on issues of what is regarding either DK or even Dr. Tharoor making a generous statement. Even if Mr. Modi's trip was seen by many people to be a rather embarrassing fiasco, if Shashi felt differently, so be it. The Congress is the Big Ten party. It's a more inclusive party. It's meant to be an all-encompassing party, and it should stick to that rather more liberal outlook, not just for the external voters, but even internally within the party. As far as Dr. Ranganathan is concerned, I want to just tell your viewers, I mean, this is the problem with people who have a very fundamentalist religious thinking. There's a conversation happening which is more nuanced, but we have a digital teleprompter in front of us, and we go into making a major Hindu-centric, a very toxic conversation that is beneath my dignity to even respond to.
Professor Ranganathan is accusing you of using a teleprompter. Do you want to respond to that before I go across to Rajat?
Look, you can... talking sense to Sanjay is like giving a comb to a bald man. Look, let's not get personal out here. I told you the psyche. This has happened time and again, and to be honest with you, I think Ms. Swati is also correct. I mean, how many examples do you want where somebody who's been not just critical, who stated out the facts, has been, well, I mean, you have the example right in front of you. All Sanjay did once upon a time, God knows how many years ago, was write an op-ed saying this needs to be done. The next thing you know, he's been suspended for a decade. Do you remember Gaur in Rajasthan, MLA, the assembly, who said, before pointing fingers at Manipur, can we please look at the condition of women and crimes against women in Rajasthan? Next thing you know, he's suspended. Same with Sanjay Nirupam. Sachin Pilot had to face sedition charges. So there is no internal democracy in the Congress. The moment you do not toe either the dynasty line or the anti-Hindutva line, you are gone.
Okay, let Rajat Sethi come in, because you referred to the case of Sanjay Jha, and that's interesting because he made a point of view, he has a point of view. can the Congress still be a big tent which allows for different points of view from the left to the right and allow for different points of view to exist, or is it becoming increasingly insular and increasingly adhering to only a particular point of view, which is the Rahul Gandhi worldview? If you like that, you're in the good books of the Congress leadership that matters. If you don't like that and if you speak against it, you could well be out in the jungle.
Rahul, the tent is just too small, or it has gotten very small now. It can only accommodate Gandhi and the Gandhi loyalists in that tent. So anybody who is even remotely at the periphery is rather kicked out by that coterie. The real problem here is that Congress is still not come to sync with understanding that this is a new era, a new Modi consensus, whatever you want to call it, where people are confident about their religious beliefs. Some want to make it a public affair, some want to keep it a private affair. What I see is that DK Shivakumar has religious beliefs, and following those beliefs, he went in and visited in Coimbatore the ashram, which is the Isha's ashram. Now, where does the real problem lie? I don't understand. The real problem here is perhaps Congress and the Congress's that small coterie, they do not know how to respond to a scenario where some of the leaders are following their personal faith, which happens to be Hindutva in this case. I don't see them, crying out loud if say one of the leader goes to a church and does something similar. The real problem is they have muddled up Hinduism and BJP and RSS all together.
No, but the fact also is that
they can't even distinguish.
Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev, from that stage, in the presence of the Home Minister, was constantly praising the Home Minister, praising the anti-Naxal efforts of this government, and therefore there are those in the Congress saying, "Bhai, hame tumhe baithne ki kya zarurat padi? Look at the fact that Sadhguru is constantly praising your opponents. Why sit and applaud while this happens?" That's the argument that I suppose they're making.
No, so see, that is fair. I mean, it was left to him. He could have handled it in a way where he could have ensured that he either ensures that meetings minutes are discussed with him, wherein such a utterance was not there. And even if it is there, as long as you're able to politically have that confidence. The real problem is that Congress leaders are completely bereft of that fundamental confidence that you need to have in public spaces. How do you hold if somebody is praising somebody in a public setting? Do you walk out? Do you handle it? Do you handle it confidently? These are all arrays and shades of responses that you can come up with. Perhaps DK Shivakumar believes in his politics and he believes let Sadhguru praise the Home Minister. So be it. He might that is his opinion. He's not making those statements. But these nuances are very hard for Congress leadership in the current day and time to understand. This comes out of sheer lack of sheer insecurities in their politics, which is sort of throwing out these situations.
You're calling this insecure politics by those who matter in the Congress at this moment.